We're live.
We're live?
Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome to Beyond the Scope. I'm Josh Gitalis and today we have a very, very special guest, Meghan Telpner here on my right. Meghan Telpner is my wife.
I am!
But she's also the best-selling author of Undiet, which is an amazing book. I use it with my clients all the time. It's the complete lifestyle makeover type thing with some recipes.
Official words are the complete toolbox for a total lifestyle transformation.
Toolbox, I love that. Lifestyle transformation. But there wasn't enough recipes in that one, and she didn't feel like it was enough work, so she went on to make the Undiet Cookbook.
Yes.
Which this is a huge book.
Yeah.
The pictures are amazing, the recipes are amazing, everything. We're gonna get into that in great detail.
I noticed, you've got a lot of little notes in there
we're gonna go through all those. She's also the founder of the Academy of Culinary Nutrition, training people all over the world. This tribe reaches, where does it reach?
32 countries.
32
Kenya,
countries.
Ethiopia, South Korea, New Zealand, Hong Kong. It's mind blowing.
Unbelievable.
United Arab Emirates, Dubai, India.
Talk about a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. If you can change the world, we're changing the world. Well, we're not actually. We're inspiring other people to help us.
Yes,
it's
and
we're going to
get into that because there's some really cool tidbits in this book. We're going to start off with some deep stuff.
Uh-oh. It's getting hot in here.
And then we are going to get into some recipe stuff. I want to talk a little bit about some of my favorites.
Yes.
And then we're going to wrap this up with a special little quiz.
Oh, no.
Okay. So, at the beginning of this book, there's some really awesome tidbits and pieces of information that are much deeper than you think. Like, you read them once and you're like, wait a second, that's a lot deeper. I need to sit here for a moment and ponder this. So, the first one I want you to just comment on. I'm just going to read it first.
Sure.
Undiet is breaking free from the rules we think we're meant to follow and doing what is the very best for our individual health.
Yeah.
So, my first question to you is, what rules were you following that you had to break?
Well, here's the thing, and with everything that I do, I sort of advocate that I'm not the guru. I am not going to tell you what to eat. You try and tell me what to eat, but I don't really listen. And I can't tell anyone what they should eat. We all inherently know for ourselves what the best diet will be. Unfortunately, we often choose not to take responsibility for actually tuning into our body, doing the work, doing the research. I mean, in your work, you work with clients all day, or almost every day of the week. How many times do you have a client that comes in and you're like, so what foods are causing you problems? And they actually have the answer.
Almost all the time.
Almost all the time. So obviously we love cookbooks. They're glossy, they're beautiful, they're mouth-watering, they stimulate all of our senses. But there's a lot of cookbooks out there. I wanted to offer something beyond that would actually help to transform people's lives and empower them to understand how to make the best food choices for themselves. And that's what that quote means, is that we all feel like, vegan's the healthiest diet, or no, paleo's what's trending now, that's the healthiest diet.
So those are the rules.
Those are these rules. Or the idea that, a snack is 200 calories and women shouldn't have more than 1,200 calories a day and men should have 2,000 calories a day, and all of these things, and fat grams, and where the carbohydrates are coming from, and it's become so overly complicated, and that system clearly is completely broken because we're not getting any healthier. We're not losing weight, if a lot of people want to be losing weight, because the majority of the population is now overweight. We're not reversing degenerative disease. Everything is just snowballing into this epidemic of poor health. And those rules are what have put us there. So let's break them open, redefine them for ourselves, and then we can live optimally healthy lives.
Right. So people evaluating what rules they might be living by that they don't even know or are aware of are controlling and running their life.
It's like, if it doesn't work for you, stop doing it. If you hate running and you're pushing yourself to run every day, stop running. Find an exercise you love. It's that simple. If you hate beets, don't eat beets. Find the vegetables you do love and eat those.
Okay, cool. Okay, second quote.
I like beets,
yeah,
by the way.
we're yeah.
And there's also a little thing in here about the beet test, but maybe I'll get
the
there.
beet test. Okay. Yeah. Undiet living isn't just about your own personal health. Really? The choices we make when it comes to health also affect those around us and those around the world, too. Can you explain that
Is this puzzling to you?
Exactly.
So I teach the Culinary Nutrition Expert program with the Academy, and one of the questions that comes up every year, all the time, is students asking us, what do I say to people who tell me that organic is a waste of money or it doesn't mean anything?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example that I'm using. So if we're not buying organic, we're buying chemical agriculture. We're buying food that was grown with heavy loads of pesticides. A really scary / awesome reference for this is if you go to whatsonmyfood.org, and there's a lot of really good references throughout the book. But this will show you the chemical load that's on your fruits and vegetables and meat when it's grown chemically or conventionally. The produce you find in the store with a number 3 or a number 4 on the PLU number.
Right.
So when we're growing food with chemicals, for example, farmers who are growing it have higher rates of Hodgkin's lymphoma. That is a known fact that farmers growing conventionally grown food have higher rates of Hodgkin's lymphoma. So do manicurists who are using those kinds of chemical polishes. Right. So do hairdressers who are using chemical dyes.
I see where you're going with this.
So do dry clean. So the decisions we make affect, we have someone who helps clean our house for us. I'm not going to give her chemicals to use. We use all natural stuff because her health matters too.
Absolutely.
So, and then if we go beyond the farmer, the communities that live around these farms using these chemicals have higher rates of birth defects, high rates of cancer. And then these chemicals wash into the waterways. So they affect the fish in the rivers and the streams and the lakes. And those wash into the oceans. And we're seeing these dramatic dead zones in our oceans where fish and plant life can't survive. All because we're making different choices around our food. So obviously we want to choose the best for our own health because we really deserve the very, very best for ourselves. What I don't understand is people who choose to give their kids organic but don't choose it for themselves. You know it's better.
Bewilders me too. Yeah.
You know it's better. And then it has this cascade effect, this wake. Every choice counts. And that's what that means, that the choices we make for our health aren't just about like, well, is there actually more beta carotene in an organic carrot? Well, there is, but that's like one very small piece of a bigger picture of what health is.
So it's almost like every time we pick up a food, every time we pay with our dollar, we're also, you can almost picture like a ripple going out from you, wherever that's going and affecting so many different places. That also applies to more than just our food. That applies to like how you talk to the postman. Right. That has a ripple effect on their day. I know, and sometimes you have one interaction. Sometimes you have one interaction in the day with someone somewhere. It's like 10 seconds long, and it changes your day. Yeah, it's interesting, and I'm sure you've had this experience too, because we have this like amazing privilege of getting to work with masses of people. That like you never know what you're going to say, whether it's in a webinar or a live class or in a book. That's just going to like flip that switch for people and have that ripple effect on their life. And that's what we both do, is teaching the teacher so that they can then be empowered to share the knowledge in their community. And there's that kind of positivity ripple as well. Definitely. Okay, so one more deep quote from the beginning. Stop talking. Did you only read the quotes? Did you only read the large print? No, but the stuff in the large print has some of the best stuff. I'm just teasing. It's okay. So, yeah, I want you to just dive into this briefly. Yeah. So we can get into the main course. I talk too much. It's okay, you do it very fast. So I'm excited. So you fit a lot in. Okay, I'm going to slow down and say less. There is no greater harm to this planet than a human being out of balance. Sort of following what we just spoke about. Yeah. And then I want to start to get into the recipe. So comment on that, please. I don't believe, and this was a controversial statement, actually. Oh. My copy editor actually thought wanted to pass this by legal, a statement like that, which is interesting. Pass it by legal? Yeah. But wow. I believe that healthy people, healthy in mind, body, and spirit, don't knowingly cause harm to other humans, don't knowingly cause harm to the planet, don't knowingly go about their day with an attitude of gluttony and greed. I believe that when you're in a healthy state of mind, body, you are in a state of community and love and sharing and generosity and gratitude. And people in that state don't inflict harm on others or on the world. Very well put.
Short and sweet.
Good stuff. Okay, let's get into some of my favorite recipes.
This recipe was like, I didn't know this would be so popular. It was one of the first ones people started making.
Amazing.
Advanced copy.
That's so cool. So, being a life partner with you, as you can all see on the first page, which is dedicated to me.
The book is dedicated to this guy.
I was able to experience a lot of these discoveries with you and the creation of these. So tell me a little bit about Jammu Juice, this beautiful yellow concoction here before us.
It's orangey yellow with ginger root and turmeric root. This is one of my favorite photos in the book. Mm-hmm. It's very simple. I love it. This piece of wood actually came out of Zadie's old warehouse when he had his shmutta business.
Cool. So there's no ginger in here, is there?
No.
You said ginger.
Oh, I thought that was a ginger root. Oh, no, it's just a different angle on turmeric. Yeah. I should know my stuff better. So the Jammu Juice we discovered when we were traveling in Bali. And it's like the Indonesian medicine. They have different types of Jammu Juice. If you look it up on Wikipedia, there's really funny remedies for it. Mm-hmm. Like, there was really funny, like tight anus.
It cures a tight anus?
I didn't fully understand it all. But yeah, if you look it up on Wikipedia, there's really funny. But what my version was the turmeric juice with a little bit of honey. And I actually blended mine with hemp seeds because we want to get that fat in. When we're getting medicinal herbs, those fat-soluble constituents, best blended with a fat, whether it's, I used hemp seeds or coconut oil or ghee, so that I can usher in those constituents, those medicinal properties. I dropped the C-bomb. Constituents.
Whoa.
And this drink, it's just you're blending. I mean, you can get the book and get the recipe, but you're blending these things together and drinking it, and it's surprisingly delicious. It's potent anti-inflammatory, and there's a little tidbit on there, an Undiet health tip on the benefits of turmeric.
That's amazing. I would say also turmeric can be overwhelming if used in high dosages. So like in this way, it gets right into the system in an easy, delicious way.
Yeah, the honey. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Okay, this next one, this is one of my favorite pictures.
Oh, this next one.
Or most delicious pictures in the book.
Maybe I'll just put this over.
This is your pancakes.
Chocolate, say it twice. Pancakes!
And my question is, can you make these for me tomorrow morning?
Yes. Next question.
Awesome.
If you go over to my blog, too, if you're interested, I actually did a whole blog post about the behind the scenes of that photo. It's actually a combination of photos to get the perfect drips.
Ooh.
I did have a requirement on all the photos in my book that they be real food, that they actually be the recipes.
Okay.
So that, like, if you've ever... Do you know anything about food styling?
Oh, yeah. So you're saying that the syrup used in here was not wood varnish?
It was definitely not wood varnish. So food styling, they'll use like shaving cream in place of whipped cream and do creepy stuff. But Ashley is awesome, all real food.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 questions on this page. 1.
Where did I get that dress? Just kidding.
Do you commonly use containers filled with seeds as an armrest?
Ween green containers make a great armrest. They're also my favorite containers for storing food because they're tempered glass, so they're not breakable. Send them to school with your kids. It's fine.
Amazing.
And I love all the colors.
Okay, cool. So my real question is, why do you soak your nuts?
Doesn't everyone like soaked nuts? We like milk nuts. We like soaked nuts. We like nut cheese.
That's what I'm trying to find out. Because just before you go there, there's like so many cool tips in here just about food and how to get the most out of food. Like, it's not just a cookbook. It's
culinary nutrition.
So tell me about soaking nuts.
So we soak the nuts because there's some enzyme inhibitors or what they call anti-nutrients, and it's actually kind of to protect the plant so that birds and animals don't eat them. So it sometimes can have a bitter coating or these anti-nutrients that actually prevent the digestion of it or inhibit digestion. So for people who have impaired digestion or sometimes experience stomach aches from eating nuts, which is common, soaking them will activate them, make the nutrients in them more bioavailable, make them easier to digest. And the slow roasted nut clusters, you like slow roast them.
Yeah.
They taste like nuts. Like, they're so flavorful and delicious. My mom always makes those at the cottage, and everyone's always putting their hands in the nut jar.
They don't last too long, do they?
No, they don't.
Next one I'd like to ask you about is the immune power broth.
Yes. This was another of my favorite photos. Maybe we can show this
Mazel
photo.
tov, you made chicken soup.
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened after I asked you to marry me?
Yeah, so when Josh proposed, which I was very surprised about, I didn't know that was going to happen. He gave me the diamond in my engagement band belonged to Bubi Chana, Josh's grandmother. And it wasn't in a ring setting because I was like, I don't want a ring and all these things. But once I got the rock, I was like, maybe I'll get a ring. But so he gave me his Bubi Chana's diamond. And the day I got the actual ring set, this like compulsion came over me to make a chicken soup. And kreplach. I made gluten-free kreplach as well, little dumplings. I'd never made a chicken soup before. And I've been hooked since. And the recipe in the book, the Immune Power Broth, has a few things Bubi Chana didn't include. We included a little bit of apple cider vinegar, which helps pull the minerals from the bones if you're using bones.
Good tip.
I also included some herbs like goji berries and a little bit of maca, extra herbage to enhance the immune power. And of course, for those of you who are vegan, vegetarian, don't want bones in your soup, there's always a vegan option for every recipe in this book.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bubi Chana wasn't using goji berries.
No, Bubi Chana was not.
But she would have if she knew about them.
Yeah. So I should mention this, that there are vegan options for every recipe in the book, except Amma's honey cake, which I believe does need eggs.
And I believe, too, we actually have some of Bubi Chana's dishes from like way back in the day.
We do.
Anyway, you can find those somewhere in the book. So my next one I'd like to talk about is Easy Street Mung Bean Pizza.
Yes, I'll make that for you, too.
Yes! Next question.
Show the picture. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So this is made with a sprouted mung bean.
You know what? When you take on a healthy diet, it's like people say, oh my God, there's nothing I can eat. But pizza was one of my favorite things, is one of my favorite things. And this hits that spot.
Yeah, and for every recipe,
big way.
There's codes on it. So this one's nut-free, soy-free, grain-free pizza, and protein-powered as well, which used to be called paleo-powered, but I don't like labels, so we took that away.
Okay, another one of my faves is the balsamic, the best ever balsamic baked tempeh.
Yes.
And you can check out, actually, on my Instagram.
Yeah.
You can see the one I made, which looks exactly like that.
That was the first recipe Josh made out of the book. I'm sure you'll be making 129 more. There's also a version of this recipe. My friend Angela Liddon from Oshi Glows loved it so much, she included a version in her book, too.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. So, salad dressings.
Yeah.
Why can't I just go out and buy like a Kraft salad dressing that's already pre-made? Like, aren't those awesome? Yeah.
No. So when you look at the bottles of salad dressings you typically buy in the store, and we can show this picture too.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'm going to show it
itching
everyone.
to see. When you buy salad dressing in the store, you'll see weird ingredients like vegetable oil, sometimes even cottonseed oil, partially hydrogenated soybean oil. So most of these oils, canola, soybean, cottonseed, if not specifically labeled as organic or non-GMO, they are definitely genetically modified. And they're just not healthy. They're not heart healthy promoting. So salad dressings are an amazing way to get really good fats into the diet from like omega-3 rich flax oil, chia oil, hemp oil, walnut oil, or if you want to go the monounsaturated route with olive oil, you can even go with a saturated route with a sesame oil. So there's amazing ways to get really healthful oils into your diet, and salad dressings are a great one. And all the salads in my book are mix and match. So I've got the salad recipe, and then I recommend a dressing, but there's a whole slew. I think there's like 7 or 8 or 9 different salad dressings. And I love making a couple salad dressings at the start of the week, having them in the fridge ready to go so we can, as Josh says, streamline the morning process.
Yes, I say that a lot.
Lunch.
So choose your own adventure in the salad realm.
Yeah,
and salad dressings are so easy to make.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have a lot of kitchen utensils.
Yes.
You have blenders and bowls and spoons and all these different cool things. But I just want to know, what is this kitchen utensil?
It's a brush. That is a kitchen utensil.
A paintbrush?
It's not a paintbrush. It's a condiment brush for barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
Oh, who's got egg on their face now?
Do I? I love that shot. It looks like
I know, it's beautiful.
Okay. Another one
You're
of my...
really going through all of them. Well, not all of them.
Well, yeah, some of my favorites.
Okay.
Another one of my favorites as a kid was Rice Krispie Squares.
Right, made with creepy
Snap, crackle, pop.
Creepy marshmallows.
These
and genetically modified
are actually better, I gotta say.
Yeah,
than
these
a
are
typical
delicious.
Rice Krispie.
So my crispy rice treats are bound together with almond butter, coconut oil, and cacao, which is optional. These are so good.
They're really
and
good.
we used organic, I think it's like organic crispy rice cereal. I don't remember the exact name.
Right.
It's essentially like the other kind.
But organic.
But organic.
Yeah, and rice actually holds a lot of arsenic in it, right? So you definitely want to make sure it's organic. Okay.
Oh, didn't you just open a can of worms?
I did open a can of worms, but I don't know if we're gonna start to empty that. So what I want to also ask you about is, this is the Undiet Cookbook.
Yes. That's me.
Why, Megan,
That's
is
me
there
with
a
flat
whole
iron
section on beauty care?
Right. Doesn't that look delicious? Every single thing on this plate of beauty care is edible. Ginger, sodium bicarbonate or baking soda, sea salt. I don't remember what that is. Different herbs. These look like, red clover.
Yeah, that looks like red
a
clover.
comfrey maybe.
Yeah.
Ginger, my essential oils. So beauty care, whatever we put on our skin is essentially like food for our skin. It absorbs in and actually bypasses the detoxification organs, starts entering our bloodstream and circulating through the body. So we need to be really mindful about the beauty care products we're using.
Mm-hmm.
And so the final recipe chapter in my book, and there's chapters beyond the recipes, is about edible beauty care. We do a toothpaste, a deodorant, a tooth whitener, one of my favorites. We have in there a skin calming salve, like a moisturizer, a scrub, a seaweed face mask. I'm not wearing any makeup right now. I'm wearing a little bit of lip gloss because I couldn't find my makeup this morning. And I don't know. I feel pretty good about being on camera. I'm going to be 36 this month. No
That's
makeup.
great.
Yeah, it's all because I use food on my skin.
And in your body, right? From
and
the inside
in my body. Oh, for sure.
So, also, I think a lot of people get all flustered about entertaining because they start to learn these recipes and learn these diets, and they're like, oh my god, what am I going to feed people? Like, they're not going to eat this food.
Yeah.
And just a quick story about a client I had recently who needed to go off gluten for various reasons. I'm not going to dive into those, but and by the way, the whole book is gluten-free.
Yeah, the entire book is gluten-free and dairy-free.
But she's, in her follow-up appointment, she's like, I did a whole birthday party for my 1-year-old, gluten-free, and no one even knew.
Yeah.
Okay? So...
Can I just say something? It's a good point, because I think when people have to change their diet, they make like this whole big dramatic shenanigan about it, which is not effective or useful. So if you had had a 1-year-old birthday party and you sent on the invitation, by the way, it's all going to be gluten-free, so blah, 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 blah.
Right.
People would have come being like, oh, this is lame. If you just don't make a big deal about this stuff, our families respectively eat gluten-free meals all the time. It's the only way that my family ever eats when we eat as a family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a non-issue.
It really is.
It's just the way.
So entertaining, there's a whole section on entertaining.
Yeah.
And what kind of little things can we get from this section?
Well, you can get a globe, which we found in the garbage.
Everyone needs to put a globe on
I
their
like to find
table.
my table accoutrements. I like to find those in the garbage. No, but what I give in the entertaining section is a few tips on how to actually like eco-consciously throw a party. So enough with like the disposable plastic paper plates and cups. Just fill your dishwasher, it's fine, or rent dishes. But let's stop with that disposable thing. But I also offer in here meal plans for different events. So family dinner party, a kids party.
Yeah, I love that.
A brunch, a girls' night spa, girls' spa night in. So that one's really awesome because it has food to eat, but also like some beauty care stuff, so we can all like have a little spa night. Maybe you and I should have a spa night one night.
Maybe. So
fun.
you've got all the recipes, and then you amalgamate a certain selection for whatever event you're doing.
Yeah, and also if you go to the UndietCookbook.com once you get your copy and register your copy, we have an additional meal plans that are more for like everyday eating. So we have 2 different 5-day meal plans as a bonus with
That's
the
a
purchase.
sweet bonus.
Because unfortunately not everything fit in my 300+ page cookbook. There was more.
Another situation that people get into is travel.
Yes. Yeah.
Travel. So difficult to find stuff sometimes. So tell me a little bit about the whole travel section.
Yeah, so the travel section was really important because we hear about traveling a lot. And though this isn't directly related to recipes, it's about tips on how to, when you're choosing your own trip, how to figure out where you want to go, how to figure out... Are you listening?
I'm totally listening.
What did I just say?
It's important. What? Where you want to go?
Where you want to go.
Yeah.
How you're going to pick where you're physically going to stay, where there's health food stores nearby, restaurants nearby. So tips on how to plan your holiday, and also if you're going for business, how to negotiate that when you don't necessarily get to choose where you're staying. Plus, I have a whole list of recipes or a reference to recipes in the book that are ideal for airplane snacks, travel snacks, and also things to pick up once you arrive, easy recipes that can be made in hotel rooms, things you might want to pack to have once you arrive. So you're kind of set, no more of those, but it's okay, I'm traveling, I'm just going to eat whatever I want.
It's all about planning ahead with traveling.
And what's really cool, and we've experienced this a lot, is that when you start to upgrade your lifestyle, what you desire in a holiday also changes. Like, you don't necessarily want the cheap all-you-can-eat buffet and all-you-can-drink bar. You start looking for, like, how can I actually experience this culture? How can I actually, or if you do just want to totally kick back and relax, what do you want to soothe yourself with? Do you want massages and body care and detox treatments? Or do you want to dance till 4 a.m. off your face on cheap tequila? Both are fair game, but sometimes our choices change.
Totally.
Or if you do drink your face off on cheap tequila, maybe you want to recover a different way the next morning. You know, life is about balance, not moderation, but balance. Doing what feels good for you.
Is this what's going on in this picture? Balance?
Yeah. That's actually what's going on inside me right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started with some deep stuff. We got into some lighter stuff when we talked about making pancakes for me tomorrow morning. And I want to finish.
Those are light and fluffy.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. I want to finish with a few deep things as well. You end the book, well, not end, but near the end.
Yeah.
It says the simple questions to ask are the hardest to answer.
Yeah.
And these are the questions. Is it worth exchanging the comfort of what I know to live the life I know is possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I read that one more time?
Yeah. Is it worth it?
Is it worth exchanging the comfort of what I know to live the life what I know is possible?
Okay. That's number one.
Yeah.
Am I ready to take responsibility for my current state of being?
That's a big one.
Yeah. People don't come and see me until they've taken responsibility, really.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, some people will come see you, but they won't actually do anything about it.
That's true. And number 3, what needs to happen in order to bring forth the abundance I know is available to me?
What needs to happen? So, if we're not taking ownership and we're not willing to do what we know is possible, we will never be able to bring in the amazingness that's possible in all of our lives. And that's ultimately what my work is about. I do it through the mechanism of food and things like the Awesome Life Detox and the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. But my ultimate goal with the Undiet and Undiet Cookbook is this idea that we all have this incredible potential to be amazing human beings, to contribute in, like we talked about earlier, these positive ripple effects throughout our family, community, and the world. But if we're not operating at our top peak level, and peak performance isn't just about, like, you know, I can run a 7-minute mile. I don't even know what that is. I guess it's running a mile.
4 minutes, pretty good.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with, you know, physical agility necessarily. It can be helpful in some cases, but it's really about living a life that is so authentic to who you are and to what you're capable of creating and being, and letting that creative force run through you into what you create without fear. And that can happen if we're clouded up and bogged down with chemicals, with dependencies on sugar and caffeine and alcohol, on gluten, which can stimulate reward centers in the brain. It can't happen if we're not in an optimally healthy body that we feel confident and comfortable in. It can't happen if we don't sleep properly. So we can't operate at our optimal level if we aren't first taking care of the body in which we're operating in.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do the mind stuff first. You can do the meditation. You can do all that, and that typically will transfer into the foods you feed yourself with, or you can start with the food, and that will change your thoughts, and it'll change the level of perception you have in the world. It will change your IQ. It will make you smarter.
Cool.
It will make your brain function at a quicker rate. It will improve your memory and your recall, your ability to read something and later be able to call it back. And that's what Undiet is about. It's about like, let's power up our lives. Let's break all those rules, all those things that are not serving us, redefine how we want to live, and then like break down all that fear barrier and live it.
Cool.
Yeah.
By making these 130 recipes. Okay.
Just start there.
I just had to add that in at the end. That's really cool. And you've got this creed here on basically the first page of the book.
Yeah, it's actually on the first page of both books. It
Okay.
was redesigned for the second one.
I'm going to need these for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to need these for a second. This is your final quiz.
Oh!
Okay. So
you took away my cheat sheet.
What's actually going to happen here, because I hear you say a lot of these things a lot, is I want to see how much of this you know by heart.
Oh, God.
How many of these things you can say.
Okay.
Okay? Go for it. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, I'm just supposed to start reciting them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me like one word and then I would finish them.
Oh, that's actually really good. But let's see how far you can get.
Today is the day. Make it ridiculously awesome town. Eat fruit, lots of cherries while thinking good thoughts. Ride bicycles covered in flowers. Smile at strangers. Laugh at the ridiculousness of seriousness. Flirt with farmers. Crunch on carrots. Every choice counts. Original over conventional, weird over boring, undiet for abundant health, make love in the kitchen,
Optimism.
Optimism is most fruitful.
Be truthful.
Be truthful, youthful, playful, and funful.
I think that's a pretty good go. You got pretty much every single one. The creed, that kind of sums up everything.
Yeah.
I have to say...
Also, can I just mention, people love this creed. And I encourage everyone to create their own creed. I wrote that in about 5 minutes. And it was just one of those things. It was originally for my life. And it ended up being like, okay, this is kind of everything, my life and my business. Like you, we're all, it's one and the same. And I'm grateful for that. But if you go over to my website and go to the shop page, so meghantelpner.com/shop, under freebies, you can actually download the creed for your phone, for your desktop. Cool. It's really sweet. And so you can use that for inspiration or create your own.
I actually remember when you wrote the creed. Yeah. It was like, it just came over you. Like, it was so fast. And you just put it down and you read me it. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, how'd you do that? Yeah. It was like... something came through you. Yeah, what's interesting though is that my creed is all that. Your creed is the best way to get started, which kind of sums us both up. Totally. I'm a little long-winded. Yeah, definitely. So we all make the creed that's right for us. Sometimes it's one line, sometimes it's like 10 lines. Okay, Megs. Yes, Josh? Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for having me here in the office. It was great to have you. This book, even though I'm totally biased, really is one of the best cookbooks. Just the picture, beautiful. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. But check it out. It's not just a cookbook. It's a lot more, as you guys saw today. And I know you've mentioned it multiple times, but where can people find you? I'm at meghantelpner.com. To go directly to all things the Undiet Cookbook, go to the undietcookbook.com and get your copy. We've got amazing bonuses available. And of course, I'm also on Instagram at Meghan Telpner and Twitter at Meghan Telpner. And if you want to learn about my school, the Academy of Culinary Nutrition, of which Josh over here teaches a few of the courses, we're at culinarynutrition.com. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for having me here. This is awesome. I hope I'll have you back for your next book. Wait, when's your next book? We'll talk about that later. Okay. Bye, everybody. Bye.